I'm a little frustrated because I was wondering why the double team was coming so late and so slow tonight. Luka Doncic is not a type of player that you need to second guess yourself if you want to come on a double team or not. You got to bring the double team. The double team was coming after he made his move. That's too late. With a guy like Lou Doncic, he's too great. If you're gonna double team him, he takes a few dribbles. You need to be shooting somebody at him quickly. He had a lot of little guards on him throughout this game, and he just backed them down and backed them down until he got into his move, and then we send a double team. So if there's anything that I want to criticize MU Doka for, is for not bringing that double team a lot sooner. When you have a superstar like this, you already know what he's about. You know what he can do. You know what to expect from him. He don't have to show you anything. You already know what he can do. I'd rather have them shoot threes all night long, possibly wide open threes, and letting other people beat you, than to have Luka Doncic scoring 40 plus points. That's just not going to fare well with your team. Not at all. He's a superstar. You don't allow a superstar just to get off. I'd rather him be a passer. Double team him the whole night when he makes his initial move. I don't care what the case may be. I feel a lot better and will sleep a lot better knowing that you lost that game off a three-point shot or another second or third player getting off besides Kyrie Irving. You can live with that. But the featured highlight star in this game, you can't allow him to score 40 plus points. It comes down to that as well. It was other mistakes made in this game. For us coming down the stretch, we always know, and throughout this game, untimely turnover when you're trying to get some momentum. Houston went through a stretch where they just turned over the ball. A few missed assignments as you've seen, backdoor to Lively, dunks or whatever the case. People just popping free. Even at the end of the game, you see the little sprint out for a wide open dunk after Jabari hit a three. A good clutch three to bring you a little closer. Down by two, quick foul there, try to get a steal. Who knows what will happen. But to get a guy to leak out on you and pretty much that dunk just ended the game. So it was tough. Like I say, this was a good game. Houston didn't give up. They fought throughout. It's just they get in their own way with turnovers or some bad decisions. As far as the fouls, Houston played outstanding defense, and they'll sit there and wait till 10 seconds, 5 seconds left on the clock, and then they reach at the last minute when they have great body position right in front of the guy. Have him bodied up, have him trapped, nowhere to go. And then they get greedy or get anxious and reach for the ball or body him up too hard to where he flops or falls, and then there comes the whistle. Houston has some great defense. I think they said, number one so far in the league right now. I know it's early, but they do have some outstanding defense. But you can't put a crutch on yourself by reaching, bumping people at the last second of the shot clock. So it's just little things like that. You got to learn how to keep your hands away. I know it's tempting to reach all the time, but when you're playing against great players, and I've seen it happen too many times on Luka Doncic with Dylan Brooks. He bodies him up, he has him cornered, and he'll go for a pump fake, or he decides to try to reach for the ball, and they're going to blow that. I'd rather him shoot a tough shot over just stretched hands in the air. Don't even think about reaching. Body him up a little bit, guide him to the bucket with some help coming from the weak side, and we have to live with that. Make the layups tough. Make that three-shot fadeaway he likes to shoot, make that tough. But you're fouling three-point shooters. You're reaching at the last minute when guys driving to the hole when you have them bottled up. You're getting them off the hook. You're getting them off the hook. So Houston is playing some great ball this year. They're just not finishing the deal. This is a big game. This is a big game they needed to get. Keep them alive in the in-season tournament. Obviously, it's an I-10 rival. Anytime you play a Texas team, San Antonio as well, you want to beat them. Every time you play them, you want to beat them. You want to have the upper hand. But you don't allow yourself to do that when you're shooting yourself in the foot. There was some free throws missed here and there as well. We can tally up, free throw points. The game went down 115-21, as you can see. How many 1-for-2s are you getting at the free throw line? Points that you're leaving off the scoreboard. So really, you look at this, and they came with the intensity. I'll have to keep saying that because they came ready to play. There's no doubt about that in my mind. They matched the force with Dallas because Dallas came out more aggressive. We were aggressive, but they were just more aggressive. Then it evened out because the Rockets kept fighting. They never quit, and this team doesn't quit. And next thing you know, you find yourself in the game, getting a lead at one point, and then find yourself in a dogfight in the fourth quarter. And this game could have easily been yours, especially when you went up around 8 points. If you kind of buckled in real tight, catch a deep breath, understand what you have on the road, be precise in your body movement and getting into your plays the right way, you could have held this lead. But you start playing frantic, taking gambles. That's how you allow a good team, or we can call them a great team, come back on you and overtake you. Coming down the stretch, that's when you really got to get real tight and thin on what you're doing. Any slippage on a bad foul, turnover, missed free throw, all those things count when it comes down the stretch. And the team that has a cool head, take the veteran outlook on the game, making the right plays, those are the ones who are going to come out with it. So it was unfortunate. Tough loss for the Rockets. But one thing we ain't going to talk about or have to argue and complain about is effort, because this team came with the effort. And we can't tip our hat to that. But in most games, the Rockets are not going to get favorable calls, especially when they're going against other superstars like a Luka Doncic, James Harden, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, players like that. Even a Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum. If you go down a stretch with those guys, those refs are going to favor them the most coming down the stretch when they have the ball in their hands. You can play outstanding defense, but you do anything slight, a reach at the last minute, a little side bump, anything like that, they're getting that call. And it's going to cost you dearly down the stretch to losing a ball game. So it's a lot they got to learn. I know they're a young team, but coming down the stretch, M.U. Doka has said it plenty of times, you have to get better and you have to learn from your mistakes. You can't bring them into each game after you done talked about it, after you done watched it on the film. You can't keep gambling. I mean, bad fouls is really costing this team because they play great defense. They just bail the team out when the shot clock is running down. Can't do that. So we're going to look at this box sheet as we already had it up. So pretty much you've been glancing at it. But Jabari Smith Jr., 16 points. He had 1 block, 2 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 for 5 from the three-point line, 7 for 11 from the field. With Jabari Smith, you just want him to get a lot more volume. I don't know what it is. I know this is a team game, and the way this team is built, they kind of really playing a team game. Kind of remind you of the Detroit Pistons back when they had Richard Hamilton and Chauncey Billups and those guys winning a championship by a collective unit. And you couldn't just key in on one guy. This team is kind of built like that. But man, you would like to see Jabari Smith get a lot more attempts than 7 for 11, especially when he's shooting it well as he did, and hitting the clutch three in the fourth quarter to bring him a little closer. But yeah, you want him with a lot more volume. 9 rebounds, that's good. I like to see him in double digits as much as we can for his rebounding. I know he's slender, but he can get in there and bump around with those guys a little bit at least. And I like to get those blocks to about 2 or 3 a game as well. And of course, 16 points, you want that up. But it was a good balanced game for him. He picked his spots. He didn't force anything. So we're going to go ahead and give him a round of applause, actually. We can give him a round of applause. Dylan Brooks, 16 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 for 4 from the three-point line, 7 for 13 from the field. He had better games. As far as his point production, 16 points. If he's averaged 16 points, I think we'll be happy with that. Not looking for him to jump off on a scoreboard each game, 25, 30 points. No. Every blue moon, he can give you that, especially when we're struggling. We're looking for offense, but we don't want a heavy diet of that. I don't think that's the right direction for this team offensively, but we'll take that 16 points. Now, what we do want to come up is he needs to get more steals, which he didn't get in this game. He can have a block or two. Rebounding for sure. He needs to definitely up that. In this game, he only got 1 rebound for whatever reason. Not saying he's not trying to get a rebound. It just didn't end up that way. Or he was more focused on trying to stop Luka Doncic and end up not being around to get a rebound. But we need rebounding to go up in that category for him. At least 5 or 6 at least. But it was a cat and mouse game for him. He exerted a lot of energy running around chasing Luka Doncic. So, and some ticky-tacky foul calls he did get and some bad reaches and calls that he got as well. So, ended up fouling out. I think that was big when he went out, took another defender off the floor. But he has to learn, just like he did on LeBron James early in the week. Reaching, gambling, giving up a straight line layup to LeBron James. When you're playing these superstars, man, I know you tailor yourself as a great defender, but you just cannot gamble. Play your position, make them shoot over the top of you. Best you can do. So for Dylan Brooks, I'm not going to give him a round of applause. Not going to give him a star. But I'm going to say he done his job because he did bring the energy. I'm just a tough out, especially when it comes off a loss, man. I'm a tough out, but I'm not going to do him like that. I'm just going to say he done his job. Alperen Sengun, which is the player of the game for the Rockets, as I got highlighted at the top here. The guy had 31 points. He had a block. He had 6 assists, 9 rebounds. 11 for 14 from the free throw line. Got there often. 0 for 2 from 3. Not looking for much threes from him, even though, he hesitates on a lot of them. 10 for 19 from the field. Great game by Alperen Sengun. Besides the bunny shots that he missed in crucial moments of this game, a lot of times he missed a lot of close shots, especially when it comes to crunch time or it comes late. And I hate to throw that on him, but like I said, I'm a tough out, especially off a loss. I mean, and when crunch time comes, that's when you have to come through. I know you got 31 points, and your stat line looks pretty good. We can get those rebounds up as well. I like the assist. Free throws, 11 for 14 for you, a big guy. You done better than what people would thought at the free throw line. Usually you miss a lot more free throws than that. So I'll give you a thumbs up on that one. But Alperen Sengun in crunch time, I don't want to say take your time, but be a little more focused in there in traffic. Just real close to the basket. A lot of them loop out. A lot of them times you miss with a little bit of contact. big moments in the game that could swing it. And sometimes you just find yourself missing the bunnies, is what they like to call them. But other than that, you got player of the game. Without your production, who knows where this team would have been. Could have been a blowout without your production. Because a lot of people didn't step up in this game, point-wise, for sure. And we're going to get to that. But Alperen Sengun, you get a star. Fred VanVleet, 10 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 12 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 1 for 7 for 3. He was off on his 3, 3 for 9 from the field. Basic game for a point guard, for a general. You can't really fault this guy. He couldn't hit his 3 tonight. If you want to say anything, he just couldn't get his shot going. But once again, he's our floor general. We're not looking for big points from him, which in some games we need more scoring from him when, the offense stagnant. Guys can't make shots. He steps up. To me, this wasn't really a game that he needed to score 30 to 40 points, because if you look at it, still had a chance to win this game, even with him scoring 10 points, 115 to 121. Didn't lose the game because he didn't score. Lost the game because of mental breakdowns, not tighten up when it matters the most, getting lackadaisical, losing offensive players on defense. Just little mental lapses, backdoors, lobs, not matching up the right way, reaching, gambling, those type of things. That's what loses you the ball game. So Fred VanVleet, I'm going to give you an Iron Man. You played tough tonight. You distributed the ball, 12 assists, even got you a steal in there, and you got yourself a block. You got an Iron Man. Jalen Green. This guy is up and down like a seesaw. He tries, man. It's hard to come in and criticize him game in and game out, because this guy's really trying. He's just trying to find himself right now. Like I say, it's a new offense. I don't want to make no excuses for him, but he's putting up the shots. They're just not going in. He's just got to find his way. Just find his rhythm. 12 points, 1 block, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 for 6 from 3-point line, 5 for 14. We're going to give him an Iron and Kind. Yeah, we got to give him an Iron and Kind. Even though he tries, but you just can't be up and down going into a lot of these games. You're looked to as the guy to produce points, a guy that's really supposed to be leading this team. And it seems like so you go, so the Rockets go. Even when Alperen Sengun have big games, they seem to still lose because the point production is not balanced enough. Alperen Sengun can have 31 points, 40 points, whatever the case may be. But if you got the other guys in 10, 12, 16, what you see tonight, sometimes you're just not producing enough. And you produced enough tonight to win. Defensive lapses. You scored 115, but you gave up 121. So Jalen Green, Iron and Kind, just get more consistent. That's all I have for you. The assists is picked up. I've noticed this year. Rebounding has to try to stay up. You can do better than 3 rebounds. We know this. As far as your 3-point shot, you had some great looks. You had some bad looks to where you kind of just got into your action, just shot it where you defended or not. That's what brings your shooting percentage down, is when you're forcing shots And I think if you make more layups, your percentage would be high as well. You miss too many layups. I don't know how many times I got to say that. Each game you miss too many layups, whether they contested or not. Just got to slow down and focus more when you're in the lane, especially in traffic. You miss a lot of big layups in a lot of games. We just can't miss too many bunnies. And this team misses a lot of bunnies. As far as the bench, you didn't get too much production besides Eason. He came out with a lot of energy. As you see, 11 points by him. Came out with a lot of energy. And when you can come off the bench and get 2 blocks and then grab 8 rebounds and then have a good, decent shooting percentage without putting it up that much, it's pretty good. But we already know about Eason. We know about Tari Eason. He brings it every single night. And it showed off that bench with those 11 points. Almost had a double-double. So other guys were singled out. Usually I don't call out single guys in points, but I'm going to call out Aaron Holiday because he had one stretch where if he didn't show up with those big buckets, 2 big threes, then a good runner in the lane to give him 8 points, those were big 8 points he got. Without those 8 points, this game would have got away from the Rockets. He calmed the waters with those 2 big threes and that runner in the lane. Without those points, this thing would have got out of hand. Those were huge 8 points you could ever see. So we're going to give you a round of applause, sir. Absolutely. And Tari Eason, I'm sorry. I passed you up without giving you an Iron Man. You get an Iron Man. So let's go down here and check out the Dallas Mavericks.